So we're all looking to get more PSA 10s on the cards that we are sending off for grading. I remember about a year ago doing my first submission with PSA, and I was getting about a 50% PSA 10 rate, which is not very good. I can't imagine how many print lines that I've missed without this thing. And make sure that you're very picky with the cards that you were sending off for grading. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Powers Sports Memorabilia Show. I'm your host, Matt Powers. Thank you again for joining me. Please visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. Also give me a follow over there on Instagram, @PowersAutographs. So we're all looking to get more PSA 10s on the cards that we are sending off for grading. But how do we do that? I remember about a year ago doing my first submissions with PSA, and I was getting about a 50% PSA 10 rate, which was not very good. All I was doing was just looking at the centering and wiping it down with a microfiber cloth for most of them. In fact, some of them I wasn't even doing that. I was just sending the card off there. So I wasn't doing a very good job of prepping my cards. Since then, the last two submissions I've got back from PSA, I went 21 for 21 and then also 17 of 22. So I've improved quite a bit on this, and that's the information I'm going to be sharing with you today is how have I improved. I'm going to be giving you some tips on selecting your cards and also some tools that you can use to help improve your PSA 10 rate. And then the third thing is if you've never ever graded any cards and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm going to talk about the supplies at the end that you'll need, and then also maybe some submission groups that you can select from to get started submitting cards to PSA. All right. So first off, let's talk about, before we get into the actual tools, the card itself. You have to be picking good cards that have a chance at getting a PSA 10. That's obvious, right? We can't be sending in crap cards, all right? But we can't be selecting crap cards either, all right?
Nope.
So first off, for me personally, the cards that I like to choose are ones that actually have borders, like you see with this Hank Aaron. It's got white borders on there, so it's not easy to see if there is any chipping on the outside. You get a card with like a black border or a red border. Very hard to get a PSA 10 on that because you can easily see the white chipping on the cardboard there. Again, I like cards with borders like this because I can easily tell if they are centered. But again, you want to be picking cards initially that have good centering, corners look sharp, surface has no issues, and the edges are nice and sharp as well. All right, so that's the first step, is we got to be picking quality cards, okay? So now that we've picked our quality cards, and we're going to go through them all and see which ones that we want to submit to PSA, let's talk about the tools that you're going to need in order to make that happen, to give yourself the best chance at getting a PSA 10. All right, so first thing, this has been an absolute game changer for me. This is a magnifying light. What do these things do? Well, you put your card underneath there and it'll magnify the image back up to you so you can see print lines, scratches. You can take an up-close look at your corners and your edges. Again, it's been an absolute game changer for me. I can't imagine how many print lines that I've missed without this thing. You got to get one. They run like $30. The best investment. Number two, what you'll need is a microfiber cloth, okay? What these do is they can wipe down fingerprints and get rid of dust on your card. You got to have one because somebody that's sending you the card you bought from them ungraded, they're just putting their fingerprints all over it. You don't want to have fingerprints on your card, so get a microfiber cloth and just wipe down the front or the back of the card. It will not damage your card at all. All right. Third thing you'll need, speaking of fingerprints, is some nitro gloves. I like having these on when I'm looking at my cards to submit to PSA. That way I know that I'm not putting any dust or any additional fingerprints onto that card. You got to have some of these. They are absolute game changers so you don't get any fingerprints on your cards. And number four, this tool is not 100% necessary, but for beginners, it could actually be a very good tool. And it's called the Grademaster Card Centering Tool. And essentially what it does is you put your card underneath within the little diagram here of this tool, and essentially it tells you if your card is centered. It tells you if it's 50-50, if it tells you if it's 60-40, or if it's 45-55. And essentially it's got little numbers on the outside there, and you can match that up with the percentage sheet that they have there. I'll show a little diagram here on the video. Very easy to use. And again, most of us can look at a card and see that it's centered, but it's nice to have this tool in your arsenal in case you want to kind of reconfirm what you were already thinking, or sometimes you'll be surprised and say, wow, the centering actually isn't as bad as I thought it was. All right. Okay, so now that we've already picked out the cards that we want to get graded, we've gone through and used our tools, make sure that we are selecting the best cards for to get a PSA 10. Now we want to go ahead and send them off to PSA. What are the supplies that you're going to need for that? Well, first off, you're going to need some penny sleeves. Just like the name says, they're super, super cheap. All right. Penny sleeves are what you put the card in before you put it in your card saver one. So make sure that you are putting your penny sleeves, or putting your card into new penny sleeves before you send them off to PSA. Don't reuse the one that someone that sent it to you. That one's probably got dust and dirt in it. Don't use that one. Always use a new penny sleeves. Buy these all the time. Buy them in bulk. You're going to need a lot of them. Second thing you need is, I already mentioned, is the card saver one. This is what you put the card into after you've already put it in the penny sleeve. PSA loves these things. Make sure that you're putting your cards in those before you're sending them off to your group, your submission group. Third thing you're going to need is some painter's tape. Now, you're going to need this for number 4 here, but painter's tape, you don't want to be putting any on your card savers. PSA hates them. They will reject them. They don't want any painter's tape or scotch tape. Don't put anything on there, but you're going to need painter's tape for step number 4. So make sure you pick up some painter's tape. Number 4, you're going to need some cardboard. What are you going to use the cardboard for? You're going to put it on the top and also on the bottom on the stack of cards that you're going to be sending off to your PSA submission group. You're going to put painter's tape to secure the cardboard on all the 4 sides. Again, don't use scotch tape. Painter's tape is very easy to come off. Your group submission leader will thank you. Again, just use the painter's tape on just the cardboard on the top and on the bottom before you send your cards off to PSA. Fifth thing you're going to need is you're going to need a box, obviously. Again, you can get free boxes at the post office. Just go down to your local post office and get a box, but you don't have to use theirs. You can use any box there, okay? But just make sure that you are giving enough room on each side of the cards to prevent any damage, okay? You don't want to be shoving them in a box that's just right up against the edge there. You want to make sure you're leaving at least a couple inches of room on each side. What I would suggest doing is getting a little bubble wrap after you've already made that sandwich with the cardboard, putting some bubble wrap around it, put some bubble wrap on the bottom and on the top so the cards sit right in between there so they don't get damaged when you are sending them off to your submission group. Okay, last thing to talk about is submission groups. Who do you use? Me personally, I use gemmint.com. I like them because they have an online portal. I can track exactly what step of the grading my cards are in. Other groups have those as well. I've heard PC Sports Cards has one as well. I'm sure there are other groups out there. Just make sure that you are picking one that has that online database there. And here's why. You don't want to be asking the group submission person, hey, listen, where are my cards at? Where are my cards? Where are my cards? It becomes way too much work. You want to make sure you use an online database so you can go ahead and see exactly what step your cards are in. Why are you using a PSA submission group as opposed to sending your cards directly to PSA? Well, number 1, you get better pricing most of the time. And number 2, you get better customer service. You get your rep at your submission group that you can talk to if you've got questions on grading, if you've got questions on the submission process, any of those types of questions. If you've got an issue with your order, you can talk to that person and get an answer very, very quickly. So hopefully this helps you guys get some more PSA 10s. I know we're all looking to do that. Again, use those tools and make sure that you're very picky with the cards that you are sending off for grading. PSA is probably going to be raising their prices fairly soon here, so you're going to be paying a premium now. So make sure that you are doing your best work and sending off cards that you think are going to be having the best chance at getting a PSA 10. So again, thank you for watching, guys. Please visit the website, powersportsmemorabilia.com. Also, give me a follow over there on Instagram at Powers Autographs, and I will see you on the next episode.